Welcome to the Redirect Podcast. My name is Abigail Hewins.
And I'm Emily Rojas. The Redirect Podcast is a show where we shift the conversation back to books. We discuss themes from some of our favorite books and how those themes show up in real lived experiences.
On today's episode, we're discussing book-to-screen adaptations.
But first, if you've been enjoying the podcast, we would humbly ask that you support us in a few very easy ways. You can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and let us know that you're loving the show.
We'd also love for you to follow us on Instagram at Redirect Podcast. And finally, if you really, really love the show, we'd love for you to share it with a friend. Sharing our show with a friend is the best way to help us grow our community of book-loving nerds.
And today we are joined by a very special guest. Welcome to the show, Zach Freshley!
Welcome, Zach.
Round of applause.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So Zach is my fiance. Zach, what gives you the right to be on this show, to talk about book-to-screen adaptations, to talk about books? Why do you belong here, and what can you share?
Well, it was, when I proposed to you, I said, I'll only do this if you let me be on the pod. So that's the main reason. No, so I, when I was a young lad growing up in the bustling metropolis of Snellville, Georgia, we didn't have cable and we weren't really allowed to watch TV. So I read a lot of books when I was a kid. I would go to the church library and get 4 books a week as a child, and then the public library, and then when I went to public school, the public school library. So I've always just been a massive reader. I've always really enjoyed, the literary format.
Honestly, what happened to church libraries? Because those places were kind of magical. And I don't think they exist anymore.
Did we ever have one at Mount Perrin?
Yes, at the old building before they tore it down.
Oh, by the courtyard.
There was a church library, and I can visually picture it in my head now, even though I was probably 6 when they tore that building down, 7, I don't know. We were little, but I can remember the church library. And then they used to have kind of a media area in the new building, but I don't even think they have that anymore. Wow. So I think the church library is kind of a dated thing, but bring them back.
So Zach, was the rationale behind the church library this is more sanctified than the public library? So it's even safer place for you to get books that won't have a connection to some sort of demonic force? Or was it just convenience?
I don't know. It was just convenience, I guess, because we were always going to go to church. And they had regular books. They had I don't know. I don't remember, but just normal child books. Do you guys remember Brio magazine?
Oh my God, do I remember? Don't cite the dark magic to me. I was there when it was written.
Okay, well, they, the magazine.
Yes, I remember Brio magazine.
They also had, a series of books, and I remember reading those. They were pretty great. There was, one.
You can see my face right now. I did not know there was a series of books.
Yeah, it was, 4, it was, 4 friends, 4 girls and, 1 guy. And then,
classic.
This one girl named was Hannah, and the whole thing was she was super hot, but she was a weird super.
How did you know she was hot?
In the book, they're
implied.
Literally, I read in the book was oh my gosh, she's so hot, the whole point. But then she was a weird almost Mormon. Her parents were you gonna court my daughter, and then the guy in the book was trying to hit on her, but then she was I must be pure, and then he there's this one book, it was focusing on the guy where he went to California to visit his cousin for the summer, and the whole thing was just this big thing of it was is he gonna have sex with this surfer girl? And there was this scene where he goes to her house, and then they're hanging out, and it's moody, and then it's cut to him walking down the fog-filled street, what have I done? But he didn't actually have sex with her.
They just kissed or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was his name Tyler by chance? Because
Yes.
I'm looking at a cover of these books.
Yes, wow. It was Tyler. It was Tyler.
We will link those in the
JC,
show notes.
Becca, Hannah was the blonde hot girl.
How do you remember this? How do you guys remember this?
I don't know, because I can't remember the names of the characters of the book I read yesterday, so I'm very impressed by your ability to remember those people's names.
And then, it was a good time.
Okay, so Zach, besides the Brio books, what are some of your favorite books? Give the people a sense of your sensibilities and tastes.
I'm a big fan of, I love Lord of the Rings. I read them probably once a year. Love those novels. I was a big fan of fantasy, that kind of stuff. When I was younger, a little bit older, got into more like sort of modern day stuff. I like stuff like Greek mythology, and I like old-timey books. I love like Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, very turn of the century. I don't know which century, but kind of like old-timey classics.
One of the centuries.
Yeah.
Just any century will
Yeah,
do.
no.
As long as the beginning of it.
Exactly. Little Women was one of my like favorite books as a child. It was one of like the core texts. Rosenbloom, The Eight Cousins, also Louis May Alcott stuff. So very much a classics guy.
Okay. And what gives you the right to talk about screen adaptations?
This is like, first of all, I just want to put, like, you were like sounding like so accusatory. You invited me on this podcast. Like, why are you like this is your fault? Well, I am a screenwriter. And to everybody saying, "Oh, has you written anything I've seen?" Unless you've been on a Delta flight in the last like 2 years and saw this like weird thing I did at school. No, you haven't. But so for the listeners who don't know what this bit is referring to, when I was in grad school, I was a head writer for like a TV show that our college put on. Like, it was like a whole thing, and it was cool, it was fun, whatever. But then like 2 years after I graduated, I found out they put it on like Delta flights and like didn't tell us or anybody. So I have seen $0 from that. So love that for me. But yeah, you know, I'm a writer, I'm a filmmaker trying to make it big in Tinseltown, kid. Make it big, she. You're gonna be a star. So yeah, that's why I guess I don't know.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's get into it. There's lots to say about book to screen adaptations. Like, we love them, we hate them, we're skeptical of them, we're scared of them. But in everyone's opinion, what is the best perfect recipe for a great movie or TV adaptation?
I think there's a lot of different factors that really like play into that. I think it's really like, for me, it's like 10% is gonna be luck, and then like 20% is gonna be the skill of the filmmakers. 15% is probably what I like to call concentrated power of will. And then, anyways, no, I think the real answer is having filmmakers and people in the creative team that really like understand the emotional core of the book, and not just like, the plot.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too, is like, I think so many times a book adaptation goes awry because the people making the adaptation don't seem to understand why it was popular in the first place. And I think that's hard probably to nail down because, that's kind of a nebulous thing. But I don't mind if a book adaptation takes liberties. One really good example of that is Station 11. It kind of veered off a lot from the book. But I feel like it had the core of what made the book so enjoyable still in it, and honestly made it an even better story for the screen. So I think that's probably a very difficult task to do. But I think, you have to, I think having people who really love the book probably helps, and I don't even think it needs to be the author. I, in fact, probably think it shouldn't be the author. Like, I think just having talented creators who are good at what they do, who really, really loved the book that they're adapting, I think having that can do a lot, probably. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also okay, like you said, to take some liberties. A great example of this, in my opinion, is the Bridgerton Netflix adaptation. Particularly with season 2. So the book that season 2 is based off of is called The Viscount Who Loved Me. And obviously Shonda Rhimes made a lot of changes to the Bridgerton show. Like, it's blind cast. The Queen, by the way, isn't even in the books. She's not even a character, but she's like a huge character through all the books. I mean, through all the, through both seasons of the TV show. But, for fans of Bridgerton in season 2, like the famous, like monologue in that season is when he was like, "You are the bane of my existence and the object of all my desires." That is like not even a spoken sentence in the book. In the book, that's just like something he's thinking to himself. He's like, "She's the bane of my existence and the object of my desires." But they made it into this really like big part of the TV show, which I think is like a perfect example of what we're talking about. It's like, it is part of the source material, but also it was like redone in a cool, creative way that I think made like the season 2 of Bridgerton a lot better than the book.
I agree. I think that's I think you almost have to take liberties to make it a good adaptation, but do you still know why it was so popular in the first place? Do you still keep the heart and the core of whatever it is you're adapting? I think that is the tricky part.
Yeah. So, like, what is your gut reaction to hearing, like, one of your favorite things is being made into a film or TV show? Does it cause anxiety? Does it cause excitement? Like, because they could botch it.
Yes. At first, I'm always really excited, and then I'm really scared. So it always starts out really happy, and then it immediately goes to dread. And I stay with dread until it comes out and proves me otherwise.
Zach, I want to ask you this question specifically about the Rings of Power, the Amazon Prime Lord of the Rings Silmarillion thing. I'm sure you can correct everything I just said, but like, how did you feel when you knew that was coming out?
Well, I think, the problem with that is like that world of Middle Earth has been so well explored in the films that it felt a little bit extraneous, a little bit like a cash grab from those folks. But I will admit that I was not as familiar with the Silmarillion and stuff from the first and second age as I am with the third age and even a little bit of the fourth age. However, I do think that all the sort of things that we were kind of talking about, the difficulties and like what to take in, what to leave out, those are really like on center stage when it comes to the Rings of Power for sure.
What about like the Hobbit movies? People really don't like those
because those are extremely bad. Well, yeah, I mean, just like, yeah, I think the Hobbit movies are like a test case for like, hey, what can happen if we adapt this book? And like, everything that could have gone wrong, like went wrong. They had to like switch director right before the thing. And it was just like a very misguided effort. A for effort, but F for execution.
Love it. Okay. So maybe let's go through some of our favorites, our least favorites, and we can kind of just go like round robin here, like one at a time for our favorites. Emily, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so one of my favorites is, I'll start with A Series of Unfortunate Events, the Netflix adaptation. I want to be very clear about that. There are 2, and the other one will come up in the least favorite section. But I loved these books as a kid. I loved them so much. And there was an earlier adaptation which tried to cram 3 of the books into one feature film, which I thought was a mistake. Although I thought the casting in that was pretty good, so we can, shout out to that. But A Series of Unfortunate Events, they remade it on Netflix. They made every book into one kind of, I think, around an hour-long episode. So every book got its own episode, which I thought was perfect. In this one, they really stuck to the source material. They didn't really alter anything, except they did give a little more, which was one of my issues with the original series. Again, you can't possibly overemphasize how much I was into these books as a child. So
I was there. She
yes.
was really
like, there's whatever you're thinking, just increase it by 10 and you might be close. So, unfortunately this came out when I was an adult, so it's a little different, but I think they took it. I think there's one of 2 ways to go. Either you can adapt it exactly true to page, word for word, page for page, plot point for plot point, which is what this adaptation did. But they did make a few changes, which I thought were really interesting. They kind of took, in the books, it's as if this almost author character, Lemony Snicket, is retelling the series. So what the adaptation did was they actually cast a Lemony Snicket character as like the narrator. He pops in from time to time, explaining things. And so I just thought it was really well done. Neil Patrick Harris plays Count Olaf. I thought he did a really good job. He's pretty good at those kind of weird character parts. And so, yeah, I wish this had come out when I was younger because I would have been obsessed with it. But even as an adult, it was enjoyable for someone who really liked the series. So I thought, if you're going to do an adaptation and not change anything, I thought this was the way to go. They gave every book its due, and I thought it did a really good job. So that's my first one.
Zach, were you A Series of Unfortunate Events girly? Did you read those as a kid?
I did not, because they looked weird. The covers looked very
They
scary.
definitely are weird.
And I was like, I don't want to invite the demons into my life.
Fair.
So,
Fair.
I did not, because like Lemony, like who was, anyways, I missed those as a child.
Emily, didn't you meet Lemony Snicket?
I did.
I thought it was like a character.
Well, it's his pen name.
What's his real
The
name?
author.
Like Bob?
Daniel Handler.
Ew, okay. Cool.
I wrote, there was a contest in the kids section of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and it was a writing competition, and so I submitted an entry, and I won, and they wrote about me in the paper, Flex, and I got tickets to go meet Lemony Snicket, and it was an insane story that was lengthy, but he signed my books, kind of, not really, he didn't actually sign them, which I'm upset about still, but he didn't write
sign your books?
Okay, so this was like his shtick at the time, I think, where he would take your books and he would write like a message in it, but then he would be like, oh no, I ran out of room to sign it, because that was like his character, I guess, kind of being annoying. So, I'm to say I'm upset about it still, that's, true, but I still do have those books. He did write like, a message in it, but the actual signature, no, he did not sign it. So I thought that was wrong of him.
Wow.
And it was like 1 a.m. by the time I got there. We were last in line basically. And anyways, it was a very lengthy story, but it didn't kill my love for this series. That's all I can say.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for past Emily. I remember that whole thing happening with you in life, but I was like too cool for it. So
sure.
Okay, Zach, you're up next. What's one of your favorite screen adaptations?
I would say that one of my favorite screen adaptations is Lord of the Rings, which I mentioned previously, obviously. It's kind of funny. I actually watched my dad brought home the first movie on VHS from the church library, full circle. And
wait, can it all fit on one VHS?
It could actually.
Oh wow!
It's not long. It's only like 2 hours and change. And I remember just being like, "Oh, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen." But like, I remember my dad was like, "This is about Jesus," and I was like, "Oh." But then like the part where Arwen like crosses the river and like saves Frodo from the thing, he paused and was like, "This is sacrifice." But anyway, so like I watched the first movie and I was like, oh, so cool. So I immediately found the books and I read them. I absolutely loved them. And then like going back and like watching the rest of the films, it's really just great how they managed to take this text, which is like very dense and is very long and has a ton of different like side plots, and really like narrow it down to something that's like, obviously the movies are 3 hours long, but it's still pretty like svelte and pretty streamlined. And it's just pretty good. It's pretty sick.
One of my faves is the Outlander series on, I guess it's on Stars now. What?
Sing me a song to
Song
the last that is gone.
Okay.
What is happening right now?
Okay. So Outlander. Outlander is great. It is a very long series and every book is very long. So just like be ready if you're going to read them. But Outlander is about Claire. Claire, she is a British lady who accidentally goes back in time and falls in love with a Scottish guy. And all of the crazy things that happen to them. It was adapted into a TV show. The TV show is amazing. It's in its last season now. I love it. I think that it stays pretty true to the books, but also brings the characters to life. And because they're really long, so every season pretty much covers a book, pretty much. About 4 or 5 seasons in, they did take a really big change from the books, which I think was good because it kept some characters around that otherwise we probably would have heard less from. But highly recommend if you have not already enjoyed it. One thing I will say, content warning about the first season, is if you watch the TV show, you could probably just skip the last episode of the first season and be totally fine. There's some pretty heavy and graphic content that is unpleasant to watch. But other than that, love the Outlander series. And I feel like it did a really good job of adapting a historical romance that's in a different world. And it just feels like they just did a really good job of making you feel like you really did go back in time from the 1940s, which is already back in time for us, back to the 1740s. And it's great. Highly recommend.
Do you feel like people should read the series first or watch the show or not read the series at all? What would you recommend for that?
I think you should at least read the first 2 Outlander books. Because they do get lengthy and there's a lot that goes on, but the first 2, the first 2 seasons of the show stay pretty true to the first 2 books. So I would recommend at least reading the first 2 books, before watching the show. And if you don't make it through all of them, understandable,
Okay.
but I think at least reading the first 2 will like give you more appreciation and love for the characters as they're portrayed on screen.
Okay, my second pick is one we've talked about at length recently, which is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Again, I didn't read this book. We didn't read this book as kids, neither of us. But after reading it as an adult, I thought this is maybe the gold standard of book adaptations.
It's amazing.
It's true to the book in so many ways, but they really fleshed out, like especially the mom character. Obviously, Rachel McAdams, I think she was a perfect casting, but she can carry that character a lot. So she really got a lot more, I feel like, attention in the movie. But it kept so many things from the books. I mean, it was just, to me, a perfect adaptation. Again, we just talked about this at length in a bonus episode. So if you haven't, go back and listen to that because we really dove deep into both the book and the movie adaptation. But to me, it was a perfect adaptation. It was well cast. It was well done. It's a good movie just on its own. So even if you didn't read the book, I think you could really like the movie. And like all the actors were good. All the kid actors were good, which is really hard to do. And so many book adaptations I feel like have kids in it. So that can be difficult, but, especially kids that are like growing up. So yeah, I just think this is my new perfect book adaptation. I thought they did such a good job. And so many book adaptations, on a side note, they're just not good movies, and that's just disappointing because it's like you can be true to the book but make a crappy movie. And so I think more importantly than being completely true is just make like a good quality product, and I think people will like it, and I think that's what this is. It's just really good.
I love that. Yeah, it was a perfect movie, and I've been trying to get Zach to watch it so hard, but he doesn't want to. And
I mean,
eventually,
it's kind of like a niche, like I feel like girl mom content, so I kind of understand that, but it's really good, so I think you should watch it, Zach.
We'll see. Well, when she watches Uncut Gems, I'll watch.
That's fair. That's fair trade.
Yeah.
have you watched Uncut Gems, Emily?
I have.
Did Eric
It was
watch
good.
it?
Yeah, we watched it together.
Wow.
But
That, a marriage.
like, I would never watch it again. It was incredibly stressful. It's kind of like how
there
I
you
feel
go.
about Breaking Bad. I watched it once. I never want to watch that again because it was so good, but so stressful.
That's how I feel about the election episode of season 4 of Succession. I will never,
Yes.
ever watch that again.
Yeah, it was just too stressful. It was incredible.
It was
but
so stressful.
like personally, my blood pressure raised several points, So, yeah.
Okay, detour, but I really wish Succession was a book.
Okay, that would be a good book.
I know.
Okay.
All right, Zach, what's your
Zach.
next favorite adaptation?
I gotta go with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the Narnia movies. I gotta be completely honest. I don't actually know this movie is good, but it's so like ingrained in my like subconscious because I watched it as a child and it was very fun. I loved it. I can probably still quote a good chunk of it. If I
The
had
fight
to.
scene?
Yeah, for Narnia and for Aslan.
Yeah.
And the slow motion, like the cheetahs and stuff running at
Yes.
each other. That in
is
the
a good
soundtrack,
movie. I don't care what
that
anyone
scene,
says.
that is a canon event.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's really funny because like, obviously Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, and C.S. Lewis were like buddies and pals and work together. But it's so funny that like Tolkien is like, oh, this isn't a metaphor for anything, it's just a book. And C.S. Lewis was like, if you don't understand this lion is Jesus, I will literally come to
I'm
your
going to make
house
this abundantly clear.
and beat you up and tell you. But no, I mean, it's, shout out, James, not James Marsden, James, Sir Tumnus, what's his name? James.
McAvoy.
McAvoy.
Yeah. He had that fire, like, flute, and, like, the fire started
No, that is
dancing.
so
He was
scary.
like low-key scary, yes.
I
Thank
was-
you.
I
That
was
scene is
so-
scary.
I was so scared when he started playing that flute.
It was great. He was
Also,
killing
I
it.
kind of fast forward through that scene, to be
Me
honest.
too. It makes me feel so icky inside. But also, Tilda Swinton is like the best White Witch ever.
Amen.
Like
Yeah,
she was
she's
the
very
only
scary.
person who could play it. Like I feel like she really brought it alive in like a devilish way.
And talking about like good kid actors, I feel like all those kids are pretty good, you know, and well cast. They look
except
like siblings.
Abolish Susan.
Well,
How dare you? Susan is. I had the biggest crush on her when I was a child.
Me and Emily have been on
dare.
record saying that Susan is useless. So
She has, first of all, in the video games, she's very useful because she shoots arrows, and like literally nobody else shoots arrows in the video game. So I will not stand for this Susan slander.
okay. So
I agree with you though. This is this is the saddest adaptation though to me because the quality drop off after this movie is absolutely devastating. And I love the Chronicles of Narnia, much like you, Zach, rereading The Lord of the Rings every year. I read the Chronicles of Narnia all the way through every single year, and it devastates me that we cannot get a full quality adaptation. And I've heard rumors of one coming in the future, but this one, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe gave me so much hope. And then it was just downhill from there, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Allegedly, they're making The Silver Chair at Netflix, but that's like I don't know. That book is not a fun book to make.
I don't
into a
trust
movie.
Netflix either.
Because like the beginning of it is just like what? It's just like what's her face? Jill Pole being sad, then Eustace being like, "Let's go to Narnia," and then they just like walk around for the rest of the book. And it's not very.
you need to add stuff to it.
Yeah, but see, I don't know if they trust them to do that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say the best thing that came out of Prince Caspian, the movie, was when they were like, it started out as
the trash song they chose, you mean?
It was great. What are you talking about?
It was a cultural moment.
It was a moment. I didn't love it how they were trying to make a rom-com out of, you know, this beloved series.
Literally.
Also,
especially since Susan was like a minor still, I'm pretty sure. So what are we doing?
I believe that Zach is going to actually get to the other Narnia adaptations in his least favorite section. So
let's not step on those toes.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Abigail, what's your next one?
Greta Gerwig's Little Women. Perfect.
Say less.
I would have picked this if it wasn't already picked. I love that movie.
I'm no good for you, Joe.
That is an example too of the sorry to step on your things, but that's like the opposite of like not necessarily sticking 100% to the source, but still making such a good adaptation. You know, like the changes were so worth it.
I know. And the scene on the hillside, he's like, I love you, Joe. And then like women. Just like all I have to say is that word, women.
Yeah.
And also me and Zach laugh all the time about when Bob Odenkirk randomly showed up in that movie and was like, my little women.
Why is he
out
there?
of nowhere for no reason.
Funny.
He had to say that.
I love Bob Odenkirk with all my heart, but like I remember being like, "Sir, why are you in this movie? You have a 2020 face. You don't have a 1737 face."
That's valid.
And I also love Laura Dern. Everything that she's in. I would say the weak point there was Emma Watson for sure.
As she is in most things she's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron. Anyways, so loved it. Injected my veins. That's a Christmas movie for me. So
yeah.
I think it's one of those movies like Greta Gerwig so deeply understood the core of that book. That she just translated it to screen. There was a scene at the very beginning of the movie where in the book we see from like Laura's perspective how he like sees this incredibly like warm and inviting thing, but he feels on the outside of it, and then Marmee like invites him in, and then that scene happened in the movie, and I felt the exact same way as when I read the book. I was like, okay, she knows what she's doing. And speaking and the women, that monologue, that is not even from Little Women. It's from another one of Louisa May Alcott's books called Rose and Bloom, which is my favorite of hers. And it's because if you read Alcott's stuff, she has like this very, you know, philosophical through line, which I think is really interesting, which shows how deeply Greta Gerwig understands the material that she was able to bring stuff from other books that, you know, coincided with it. So love that movie.
She gets an A+ from us.
Yes.
Okay, should we do our least favorites?
Yeah.
Emily, you're up.
Okay, I never even watched this and I never will, but it's the Artemis Fowl adaptation on Disney Plus. I again can't overstate how much I loved the Artemis Fowl books. If you've
Same.
never read it,
Absolutely
oh my
lovely.
god, thank you. Thank you. If you've never read them, it follows this like genius savant level rich kid whose father has gone missing on this like Arctic expedition, is low-key like a criminal kind of guy. His mom has kind of gone insane from this is actually kind of a dark premise now that I'm saying it out loud. Like, no wonder he was low-key kind of evil.
Why do some YA books they just happen to be like the darkest
backstories ever
of all time? Like, we
Literally.
put kids in an arena to fight to the death.
Yes.
And they were like, this is for teens.
Yes. So this is the first book. His mom has kind of gone insane, and so he hears this legend that if you capture a fairy, they can kind of grant you a wish or whatever. And so he tries to capture this fairy so that he can save his mom because she kind of has like, I don't know, mental problems from his dad disappearing. And so that's kind of the first book, but there's this whole fairy kind of underground world. The main character on that end is this fairy named Holly. She is kind of like this badass female trying to work her way up through the military-ish ranks. And there's so many good characters. He has this bodyguard named Butler. And like, there's just it's such a good series. And from what I hear, the adaptation is pure trash. From what I understand, they changed a lot of things that just don't make things make sense anymore. So I think that was the problem. Like, you can make changes, as we've said. Station 11 is my example. You can make changes, but if you're not understanding, the point of things, like, it feels like some of the changes they made in Artemis Fowl misunderstand the purpose of the books. And, like, from the preview, it's kind of like they tried to make Artemis Fowl like this cool rich character, but in the books he's like really weird and nerdy and pale and genius, but has no friends his own age and kind of is like struggling, but genius level struggle trying to capture people. And he eventually his heart begins to soften as he grows up. I don't know, it's a really good series, and I was kind of devastated that it was adapted so poorly, and it doesn't seem like there will be any more in that series, which is a bummer. But I haven't watched it, so I'll just say that. I'm purely judging based on the reviews, and I never will. I will not support this adaptation.
Zach, do you have any feelings about that?
I also didn't watch the adaptation because I heard it was bad. It's also like a really weird production. Like I remember like hearing about it, but I also am bummed that it wasn't good because the books are really fun. They're really like inventive. Like I was like, remember when I read them, I was like, whoa. Fairies, super cool.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's anything like that,
Exactly.
It felt like its own thing, it had this whole world of things, but from what I'm reading, they did not make him the villain at all. He was kind of like a good guy in the book, so that is a bummer.
Yeah,
because that was the whole point. He was, he was kind of a criminal. Like his dad was a criminal, and he was kind of following after his dad, and eventually he becomes good, which is kind of the whole arc of the entire series. But it's fine. I'm not upset about it. Okay, next.
I think one of my least favorite adaptations is Aragon. So this is it's a series of books written by like really thick, this guy named Christopher Paolini, who is he was homeschooler from Montana. And to be fair, this is like the least bad thing a homeschooler from Montana has written, because usually that's like a manifesto and like, anything. But it's basically just this kid in like old-timey medieval times. He like finds a dragon egg, and the egg hatches. It's like the egg is like, the egg will hatch when it finds its rider. And he turns to a dragon rider, blah, 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 blah. He meets a guy, like an old guy, and they fight the bad guy, etc. It's like very like, it's clearly a Lord of the Rings ripoff with more magic. The books are pretty decent. They're pretty fun. I think if I read them now, I probably wouldn't like them as much. But when I was a kid, I was like, these are sick. But the movie is hot garbage, unfortunately. The book is really like detailed and long, and they obviously had to cut stuff, but they cut literally the wrong stuff. Like everything that they cut, they should have not cut. If they put in, they should have taken out. Had a weirdly like stat cast. Like John Malkovich was there for some reason, and like I think Logan Lerman was like the main character, and like not Hugh Grant, who's Dr. House.
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie was in it, but it was just like actively bad. The effects looked bad. It was just like they were. It very much was like, oh look, all the kids like this new YA. It was like kind of Hunger Games time period, and they just kind of like were like, hey, we'll just make this movie about dragons, and it did not work. It was just a bummer.
There was an era of that for sure after the Hunger Games. It's like Twilight, Hunger Games, success. Then a lot of people were like, let's just rush an adaptation of any YA like fantasy or dystopian book we can possibly find. And so many of them were so bad. And I feel like it was a tragedy of that era that so many things just got the green light because people thought, we can do the same thing that the Hunger Games did. But, speaking of the Hunger Games, we didn't even say that, but that is one of the best book adaptations.
I mean, I did
by far.
I had it on my list, but I didn't say it because we had a whole episode about it. But I mean, that's like the best
saying.
adaptation.
Absolutely.
And obviously, we didn't talk about Twilight, but that is art.
Obviously. I don't even think, do we have an episode about the Hunger Games? I think we just talked about it a lot.
We didn't do a Hunger Games deep dive?
No, we've talked about it, but I don't think we've ever done that.
Okay, well, we need to do it.
Add that to the list. We did a dystopian deep dive, so we probably talked about it a lot there. But not a specific Hunger Games. No.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay, so for me, a least favorite adaptation is Where the Crawdads Sing. So there's a lot of problematic stuff around the book and the movie, but I would say I read the book before I knew about the author killing somebody.
Allegedly.
And at that time, I really, really liked it. And I liked the way that it ends. So, spoilers ahead, like if you don't want to know spoilers about this book, just like 30 seconds forward. But
I gotta leave. I want to get spoiled.
Oh, shut up. Anyways, at the end, like the whole thing is like a mystery. Like, did she kill this guy or not? And it flashed back in time, whatever. At the end, she gets off innocent, but you find out that she did kill him, and it kind of like leaves it this like really cool ending. And I feel like that kind of got lost a little bit in the movie. And also, it was really funny after the movie came out because a big thing about this girl, the main character Kaya, is that she's like a swamp creature basically. And like she digs for mussels on the beach every day, and she's like dirty and like hungry and stuff. But in the movie,
like
she's
a feral child.
Yeah, she's like a feral child. In the movie, she's like beautiful and has like perfect clean girl makeup every day, which is just really funny. Like they made, what's her name? Daisy Edgar Jones, like so like pretty and serene, and like I naturally look like this. And no, like she was disgusting. Like there's no way she couldn't have been like reeking all the time. Right. So anyways.
Okay, my other one, I won't even go too much into it, but it is the Series of Unfortunate Events Jim Carrey version. This is what I think this was in that same era, maybe a little earlier than the Hunger Games era, but just kind of like, oh, this is popular with children, so it doesn't matter if we do a bad job. So I didn't like that they've put 3 books into one movie, and I didn't like that they never continued it. Like, also, if you're gonna do it, I feel like it's the same thing with the Chronicles of Narnia. I don't care. I understand things are about making money, but I feel like if you commit to something, you got to finish it. So I hated that. And yeah, I thought the casting actually was really good in this. So I will say that Jim Carrey plays Count Olaf in this, which is an excellent choice. But overall, the adaptation was not well done, and just kind of a bummer that it started something it didn't want to finish. So that's my, it's on both sides of the coin. There's a great adaptation of it, and then there's a not so great adaptation of it.
I believe you. I cannot comment because I have not read the books or watched the movies. But I feel like Jim Carrey is a weird dude, and
oh, absolutely.
Like you would think there's lots of great potential there, so it's a bummer that you didn't like those adaptations.
Yeah.
I think next, it's kind of harsh for this one to say it's my least favorite. I didn't hate it, but the 2020 Emma adaptation, it's just like
with what's her face?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
It just like didn't work. I think to be fair, that book's a really difficult book to adapt just because a lot of it is just people sitting around talking, being like, "Oh, did you hear about this guy? You should date him." Okay. And that's like the whole book. But I feel like the first half was like very like crammed and fast paced, and the second half like kind of worked, and like Bill Nye was great, but he didn't do anything, and it just like was like everything felt like 2 degrees off from being like really interesting. So it's kind of a bummer to say I didn't I didn't hate it, but I didn't, it could have been better. And to be fair, I was judging against the 2005 Pride and Prejudice adaptation, which is, I think, the GOAT of all Austen adaptations. So it's kind of a tough bar to clear, but it's kind of a bummer.
So I have not read Emma, actually, but I really liked that movie. And everyone hates on the Netflix adaptation of not Sense and Sensibility. What was it? I'm
talking about. I'm looking at it right now in my head.
Yeah, with Dakota Johnson
and Henry Golding.
Let's see.
I have no idea. Just to be clear.
Doesn't bother me.
Persuasion.
Yes.
Duh. Okay. I loved the Persuasion adaptation, but everyone makes fun of it and says it's bad. I really liked it. And I liked Emma, so whatever. Just like what you like.
Yeah. And Emma has a space in my heart because that was the last thing I did before the pandemic.
Okay, love that. All right. So for me, and my other least favorite is Divergent. All 3 of them. I liked the books, but I thought the movies were hot garbage, to be honest. And I think part of it is because I just don't like Shailene Woodley at all. I don't think she's a good actress.
No.
And I think even in Big Little Lies, which is an amazing adaptation that can't even believe we didn't even talk about this. But Big Little Lies is an amazing adaptation, but Shailene Woodley is the weakest part of that. She's the weakest part of everything that she does. And she needs to get lost. I'm sick of it.
It was so funny because like she went from like Divergent, and then like 2 days later she was like Laura Dern's peer, and I was just like, no, wait, what did she? Huh? Laura Dern was her mom in that movie with what's his face, and that with with the cigarette movie. What's it called?
The Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah, he was like cigarettes. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then they're peers in Big Little Lies.
That is confusing.
All right, back to okay. You know what? I have one I hate. It's Fault in Our Stars.
You didn't read the book.
Well, I put that on my list of things I like, actually.
Me too.
I think I deleted it, but it was originally on this outline.
Well, Zach, you were not a 2013 Tumblr girly, so...
Okay, look, I connected my Tumblr to my Time Hop, which I don't know if I recommend doing that, but I did not remember how deeply obsessed I was with The Fault in Our Stars until I started seeing these flashbacks from whatever years ago, and it's like The Fault in Our Stars, The Fault in Our Stars.
Honestly, I feel like The Fault in Our Stars, this is one of those things that like girls can critique, but not boys. So
that's so true. So,
sorry, Zach.
Bye, Zach.
Okay, literally a boy wrote it. Literally John Green wrote it.
Well, John, borderline.
He's for the girls.
He's for the girls.
This is for the girlies.
This
is for the Cumber girlies.
Should be thrown in jail for his performance.
This is for the twee black mini skirt with like
so true
with like sheer black tights and combat boots girlies from 2011 to 2013, and you had to be there. And if you weren't there, I'm sorry, you cannot critique this movie.
I'm sorry, you can't. So if you weren't there, you don't know. It is an excellent adaptation, though. I mean, like if you hated it, you probably. Apparently, I'm just gonna say you probably
might just hate the book. You might just hate the
book. But it was an incredible adaptation, and she's also the weakest part of that. And Ansel Elgort is now problematic. He was probably problematic then.
Wait, what did he do?
Some allegations of things with minors.
Come on, bro.
So
also not a good actor. Like, anyways, if I see him in the streets,
you had to be there.
You had to be there.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't there.
Yeah, you were busy being like a horse boy, right?
No, in 2013, I was a sophomore.
Or was that your fedora phase?
No, I was sophomore in college. So that was that's probably my like prep. I know you aren't talking. Let's talk about your.
We're editing that out. All right. So, are we talking now about adaptations we're excited for?
I would love to.
Okay. First for me, I'm going first, is that I am very excited about the Nightingale movie featuring Dakota and Elle Fanning.
Yes.
It's going to be perfect. I really hope. I have really high hopes because this book is one of my favorite books of all time. It is so freaking amazing. If you haven't read this book, I'm begging you. if you're going to see this movie, to read it first. It will change your life in so many ways. It is so good. And I'm really excited. And I love that there's sisters that are going to be playing sisters on screen. That's perfect to me. They're going to have amazing chemistry. I hope that they're filming it like in France, in the countryside. I need all of that. So, I
have
can't
faith.
wait.
I have faith in the Nightingale adaptation. I think it seems like it's going to be well done. So I have faith in it.
I feel like they've been making it for like a long time, or they've been talking about it for a long time. So for some reason, like, I don't really understand about making movies, but like, I feel like that means it's going to be good. Like, they're taking their time. It's not getting rushed. And I'm really hopeful. So, okay, Emily, what do you have?
I said lessons in chemistry. I was on record about having mixed feelings about the book, but I do think this is going to be a well-done adaptation. Brie Larson is playing the main character, and I actually think that's a perfect casting.
That is a hot take.
I do. I think she's going to be good as this character because yes, because
sure about that?
The character is very like not emotive at all, and she's very like in her head and logical, and I feel like Brie Larson can actually do that. So I think I have faith in this adaptation, even though I don't really care because I kind of don't know if I liked the book or not. But I think it's going to be good. So that's mine. I'm interested to see what it's going to be like. I guess maybe I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm interested to see it, and I think it might be fun. I don't know.
Okay,
I think that one has a lot of potential for them to go outside of what the book kind of spells out, because I don't know, there's just a lot there to work with. Like, it's a TV show and she's a chemist, and so I think it has the potential to do something interesting. So we'll see.
Exciting. Yeah, that sounds like it might be really good. I feel like I won't read the book, but I'll probably watch the adaptation. Zach, what about you?
I'm actually kind of excited for this Percy Jackson television adaptation. So back when you guys were, I guess, doing your, Fault in Our Stars vibes, I was on my Percy Jackson flow. I was always a big Greek mythology guy. I always thought it was like super interesting, and I really loved how they sort of made it modern, and it was just really interesting. There was a movie a while back that was no bueno.
No.
But I'm really hoping that the TV show is good, that the author is like really heavily involved, and it's really, really good, solid YA. I hope they do a good job with. So,
I kind of think the benefit of having a bad adaptation is like, it's almost like you can't mess this up twice. Like, if you're taking the time to go redo this, you better do a good job. So you hope that there is a little more investment into it.
That is so true. It gives you a little bit more faith.
Yeah.
I like that. As a new Percy Jackson fan, I will be watching. So very excited.
What just happened?
Oh my God. See, this is the thing. So I got these Percy Jackson books from the Little Free Library, and I got them when me and Zach were on a walk, and I was like, oh, I should get these. And he was like, yes, I read them. And so now, because I'm finally reading something that he's already read, every 2 seconds he comes in the room and he's like, what part are you at? What part are you at? And I'm like, I'm not doing this.
That is how Eric was when I read The Count of Monte Cristo. It was like, okay, yeah.
Oh, by the way, before the end of this episode, I really think that you two need to have a recorded conversation about Count of Monte Cristo, because I think that this is something that Zach would actually really like to read. So I'll let you evangelize to him in just a minute.
Thank you, because, I thought I'd reached my limit of my evangelizing about the Count of Monte Cristo. So I'm glad to have my subscription renewed.
Dues on autopay.
Thank you.
So I'm really excited for Project Hail Mary as an adaptation starring Ryan Gosling. It is a space movie. It is a science movie. It is science fiction. It will make you cry. It has aliens. It has the core of existence and humanity, and not even just the human spirit, but the universal existence,
the
spirit
of life.
The spirit of life, the will to survive. It is going to be amazing, and I'm so freaking excited. This book was
Ryan
amazing.
Gosling gives me so much faith, because I honestly couldn't imagine a more perfect casting. Now,
honestly,
I can picture him as that character. If I go back and reread it, I know I can easily visualize him, and I think he'll do a really good job.
Well, I heard about the adaptation before I read the book, and I knew it was going to be Ryan Gosling. So the whole time I was reading it in Ryan Gosling's voice. And I was like, this is so perfect.
Yes.
Like, it literally couldn't be anyone else.
He will do a good job.
And also, like, a little bit about
I'm sorry, but let's just thank God that it wasn't Chris Pratt, because I fear that we were close to experiencing that. I really do.
Please don't say that. Yeah. The other thing is, like, for big parts of this movie, there are not a lot of characters. So you have to have someone that's really good to hold it down, because they're only going to have, like, one other person to play off of. Yeah. So, like, it's got to be good. And so you have to have a heavy hitter. And Zach feels like he's read this book, because I was, like, telling him, like, every day after I read it, I was like, here's what happened. And he was like, so the next day, Zach would come in the room and be like, what happened?
It's so good. If you haven't read Project Hail Mary, just stop and go read it right now, because it's so good.
And I've heard it's, like, the best audiobook of all time.
I've heard that as well.
So if you don't feel like reading it, like, listen to the audiobook. Apparently it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know what audiobook was good? Heidi. I don't know if this isn't doing anything, but it was a really good audiobook.
I love that book, but I never listened to the audiobook.
When you read the book, did you want to, like, go to the Swiss mountains and, like, eat the bread and the cheese?
Yes.
And the goat milk?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Zach only reads books that are, like, in black and white. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He only reads black and white or sepia tone books.
That is so true about Heidi. It definitely counts as a black and white book. But it's so good. I love that book.
It's great. Gosh. And we're at the end.
All right.
It's back. Anyways, continue.
All right. Is there anything else we need to say about adaptations we're excited for?
No, I think we're
okay. All right. So adaptations that are not yet in the works confirmed, but that we would like to see.
Yes. Say it.
So
say it out loud.
If you've listened, say it. We've already talked about this in our last episode that you listened to, but we obviously need a Song of Achilles. There's not much we can say that we haven't already said, but we need that so badly. I need it so bad.
And it's again baffling. Like, I can't say it enough. How has this not been made into a movie yet? I don't understand.
Zach, you got to adapt it. This is your time.
This is your chance.
All right, guys, I'm on it right now.
Go.
I'll call
Get out of here.
for Netflix, and they'll be like,
what if you just called Netflix up?
Yeah, 1-800 Netflix.
We just called Netflix. That's funny. Okay. Also, the Thursday Murder Club series.
That would be so good.
There are there designs to make this into a show? I think there might be.
Such a good show. I don't know.
You say it like it was like a old time. Like he's designs on making a show.
Okay, I know you're not talking.
The thing is,
it's being made into a movie.
Oh,
there are so many good old British actors. I feel like.
Oh my god!
Isn't this set in England, or did I make that up?
No, it is. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I feel like there are a lot of good people who could be in this. So.
Oh, okay. Speaking of British people and stuff, because I've been reading a lot of British books. Did you know that things that originate from Liverpool are described as Liverpudlian?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Isn't that cute? Anyways,
interesting.
I'm really excited. I'm already thinking of all of the old British people I want to be in this. And it's just so delightful. This whole book is like, everyone I recommend it to, when they read it, they're like, oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with it.
It's for everyone.
For everyone. So yeah. Okay. I'll shut up now. Emily, what do you want to see adapted?
So this is my chance. I want to see The Count of Monte Cristo. It has already been adapted, but not well. I want a good... I put BBC TV series. I'll take anything at this point. Probably not Netflix. I'm sorry. I just don't trust them. But a good TV series.
Or HBO. Sorry, Max.
Oh my gosh. Yes. That would be so amazing. I'll take it. Anything. Max, BBC, whatever. So The Count of Monte Cristo here's why. It is primed for a TV show. As I've said before, and this is my chance to persuade Zach, The Count of Monte Cristo was originally written as kind of segments for this newspaper or whatever. So people were reading one chapter at a time. So it is so easily divided up into seasons. There's so many different plot lines. There's everything you could want. There's love. There's murder. There's revenge. There's escaping from jail. There's, operas. There is like comeuppance for evil old guys who thought they got away with something 20 years ago. It's everything you could imagine that you could want. Like Abigail said, the olden times, the Regency, they're having a moment right now. This is the chance to bring The Count of Monte Cristo back in a real way, and I need it so bad. That's all I have to say about this. But
So here's my only problem with what you just said. So you said it's gonna, because it's so freaking long, it has to be multiple seasons. What if it doesn't get renewed for a second season?
It could honestly be a miniseries. I think they could do that.
You think so? Because then you run the risk of not having your satisfaction. Like, there's
No,
nothing
yeah.
resolved.
Like a 10 episode series, I think could do it. I think it could. But there's so many clear, like, it starts when he's 19 years old. He's about to get married. He's thrown in jail. Then there's like an escape from jail plot. Then there's like plotting your revenge. Then there's enacting the revenge. Like, there's so many clear acts in this that I feel like it could easily be, a miniseries. I think it could work for a miniseries. If every episode's like kind of lengthy, I'm going on with the HBO. You could do an hour and a half for every episode. They do that all the time. And then like 10 episodes, I think that could work and it could be amazing. So please.
Zach, are you persuaded?
Yeah, it sounds super cool. I dig it. Sounds like something I would enjoy.
I think you would really enjoy it. I have to say, to anyone who does choose to read it, there is a good part in the middle where it does start to drag a little. But if you push through, it is so worth it. It's so worth it. So keep going.
I feel like you might be starting to persuade me, but
one day
it might be after. I don't know if it's summer reading. It might be fall winter reading.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, so I have two things I want to see adapted. First one is The Boxcar Children.
Yes.
Just absolutely great. So actually,
oh my God.
This is something Abigail has never read either, and it's really upsetting to me.
Boo.
Yeah, like what was your childhood that you didn't read these?
She's on the farm, as we know. She's on the
Shut
farm.
up. Oh my
growing,
God.
swapping the hogs, raking the corn.
I did not grow up on a farm. I grew up in suburban Atlanta.
She grew up, with the cows.
There were horses at one point.
Absolutely.
That was temporary.
Chickens. Anyways, so for people like Abigail who haven't read it, it's basically these like 4 orphans, and they're like at this like weird bakery guy's like house. It's like a foster situation. It's like set in like 1900, like 1901 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then like they overhear the like baker being like, "Hey, these kids suck. We're gonna keep 2 of them and get rid of them away." So they run away and they live in a boxcar, because like their parents told them that their grandfather was like really mean, but he like was nice. Anyways, they like their grandpa like comes to them and like helps them like live, and they solve mysteries. And I'm doing a bad job explaining it, but it's super fun.
It's really good. And also, did these books make you want to be homeless as a kid?
Yes, I like
their life kind
Oh
of
my
sounded
God.
amazing. No, it really did. Their life
Guys are
sounded
romanticizing homelessness.
We are not. The Boxcar Children are.
It was also
they had
crazy.
like a great life.
And like when they like got like unhomeless, when like their grandfather came and like saved them or whatever, they had like no supervision. Like the second book in the series, they can eat it off into the woods, live in a cabin like by themselves for like a week. And they solve a mystery. The third book, they ride their bikes like a long way.
Yeah.
Like the fourth book, they go to like anyways. But it's actually kind of funny. So like when back in like 2020, I had a screenwriting manager. I don't have it right now. So managers, if you're listening, holler at your boy. But there's like a couple of companies trying to like adapt it. It's like a modern day time. So maybe we'll get it sooner rather than later. I don't love the modern day aspect because like the fun of it is them.
Yeah, and I don't think it makes as much sense. Like I feel like there's a lot more accountability for children. Like,
yeah, like it's
they're
like
not just gonna be like, oh, okay, they're gone. I guess it's fine.
Because like it's like not fun if you're like living in an abandoned subway car as like children. Like it's not fun in the modern day. But we'll see. The second thing I want to see adapted is a book by a guy named P.G. Woodhouse called Piccadilly Gym. They did an adaptation of it in 2005, which was very bad. Basically, it's the story of this guy. His name is Jimmy. He is like an American that lives in England because his dad got remarried to this lady. And then it's very like, it's like this satire of like upper class culture. It's very like twists and turns. Basically, he meets this girl that he's like really into, but she hates him because like 5 years ago he wrote this book about her. He wrote a review of her book and it said it was bad. So she hates him because of that. But like she doesn't recognize him because she's never like met him in person. It's set in like 1920, so they didn't have like Facebook. And then like he's pretending to be this other guy so that she will like him. And then like through a series of events, he has to pretend to be himself to like get her to like him. It sounds insane, but I promise it makes sense in the book. And it's so funny. I love it so much. If you like sort of like upstairs, downstairs, farcical kind of stuff, you will absolutely love it. I think everyone should read it. Piccadilly Gym. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your dog walkers.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good book. It would be a good adaptation. So
Yeah, it's like kind of long, but it's a really light read. Like each chapter is just like stupid 1920s. Say hey kid kind of stuff, and it's really fun.
Again, it's a black and white. It's a black and white book.
I know you are talking. I know you are.
Zach
talking.
likes books that are like people put like a apple and cheese and bread and like a handkerchief and tie to a stick.
I
And
want
they
so
walk
bad.
out.
Don't we all? Because why does that sound so
good?
good?
So bad. I
And like cold milk. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, no. Milk is we should not.
I just feel like they were always drinking milk back in those days.
They were-
Like
oh,
cold,
yeah.
fresh milk and
Or
and bread.
buttermilk. They would drink like
Oh my
buttermilk.
god, yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Zach, for
Thank you,
our
Zach.
book to screen adaptations.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.